Hello, my name is Pablo Angel. This is my final word for the kind of international economy. I will talk about the impact of Nafta on business environment and its relationship of international trade. The purpose of this research is to analyze the relationship between trade and the environment of Nafta and the Agreement on Environmental Cooperation of North America. Also analyzes the Commission for Environmental Cooperation and Contribution to Environmental Conservation in this region. NAFTA is an English acronym for North American Free Trade Agreement. As it is named in place, the agreement establishes free trade in North America. Established in 1994, NAFTA created the largest free trade area in the world, which now links 444 million people producing 17 trillions in goods and services. NAFTA affects the economy of the United States, Mexico, and Canada, especially when it comes to import and export of all kinds. NAFTA first started in 1994, but some quantitative trade and trade rights restrictions continued to exist until 2008. NAFTA was created to help facilitate trade in North America. Since its entry into force, trade between Mexico, the United States, and Canada has increased, and the United States have tended to import more goods than they export, but the export more services than in imports. Agriculture and merchandise export increased significantly among the three countries. After starting the NAFTA, and Mexican agriculture is actually better now. NAFTA helps to increase production and productive investment. Some people argue that the biggest disadvantage of NAFTA are the rules of origin, which allow them to countries within NAFTA have their own individual amount of trade tariff on countries outside the NAFTA. Today, it is increasingly difficult for products have been manufactured in one country. On the contrary, in modern production processes tend to be involved and material produced for different countries. Thus, international trade is necessary to establish different criteria for determining the origin of the products. Criteria set up in the rules of origin and aren't always homogeneous. The rules of origin are essential international trade signs. Many trade policies and instruments vary depending on the country of origin. Sign the trade defense measures to quotas, but also fundamentally customs duties. The importance of rules of origin is also growing due to the inevitable process of globalization in which we are immersed and decentralization of production process, coupled with an increase in trade agreements and preference regimes in recent decades. Another disadvantage of NAFTA has become relatively slow time traveling between borders of the countries of the treaty, and border agents inspect all goods traveling between countries. Travel times are slow compared to what travel times could be if the NAFTA established a common tariff among all its members. The NAFTA stressed the paramount importance of environmental conditions in trade relations, especially when economics with the market difference in environmental regulation and control are integrated. No wonder that when the use of the impact of trade on the environmental is touched easier, that the more trade will encourage more damage it causes to the environment. That the more American Free Trade Agreement encourages countries to implement a high harmonization of domestic standards without generating problems between member countries. Precisely because making the harmonization of standards a requirement to grant access to markets, it would have left open the possibility of protectionism in disguise. Also, we want to give the parties the opportunity to choose their own level of environmental protection without limit in this. restriction. Some environmental groups have tried to straighten their anti-trade stand on economic groups and on the free market. They argue that the trade rules are a threat to the internal competition of a country. The solution proposed is the universal harmonization of environmental standards to create a level playing field for domestic and foreign stock companies around the world.